My name is Art Hall. I direct the Center for Applied Economics at the KU School of Business. The U.S. economy is extremely mobile. In fact, if you sort of step back, a number of people about the size of Florida is crossing state or county lines in any given year. And so that's about 14 to 15% of the population. The key data source is the Internal Revenue Service. They keep track of all of the tax returns that are filed in one county and then have a different county the next year. So it's a very rigorous data source, and what's also good about it is you can track people, you can track families, and you can track income. So we get to see where the migration of income is going. A lot of the heavy movers are the young people and the retirees, but locally there's a lot of dynamism. Most moves are short moves, and that can be a variety of people just trying to find newer homes or changing jobs, but very short moves. Long moves are fairly rare in percentage terms, but if there are long moves, as you would expect, they happen between the big cities. Generally, there's three major themes. The one that matters most for Kansas is the Great Plains is essentially depopulating. And that has been a long, stressful time for the Great Plains states. The other trend is folks are tending to move towards very large water bodies, which basically means the oceans and the Great Lakes. And then the third trend, which is a little harder to discern, but people are leaving the very big cities, like 2.5 million or more, and moving to cities of about 1 million to 2 million. Understanding where people are going helps you understand why they may be going there or why they're leaving where they're leaving. And coming to terms with those answers is probably the first step in trying to improve. Obviously, if folks are leaving on net, if you're experiencing a net out migration, and that's also affecting your total population base, that's going to retard your tax base, and it's going to end up having an effect on government services. The Center for Applied Economics is geared towards helping our region grow through analysis and education. And I love policy, I love doing economic research, and KU is a very vibrant place. What's interesting is, despite all the good universities in Kansas, there aren't a lot of scholars who are paying attention to sort of the big picture issues in Kansas. So from the business school perspective, I'm trying to fill that void for KU. The general trend in Kansas, as in most of the Great Plains, is actually two things. It's depopulating, but it's also regionalizing. In the context of Kansas, the regionalization is happening on the east. So by and large, all the movement is going to Kansas City. But you do have some places that are little pockets. And even though people aren't out migrating from places like Dodge City, there is sort of an internal population growth that's holding things stable. The strategies are all types of things you can imagine. The most extreme in the Northwest is they're giving away land, trying to recruit people to stay there. There is that saying that says, if you're not growing, you're dying. I think a better way to phrase that is, if you're not changing, you're risking stagnation, and stagnation will lead to death. So how a community sort of evolves is a complicated issue. You don't necessarily have to have more people, but you need prosperity. You need an economic engine, and that comes in a variety of forms. And typically, you have to allow for a lot of evolution. And that is one of the hardest things, I think, for local policymakers or people in general. People like the way things are. Embracing change is hard.